Corporate 426, go around, make left traffic runway 8 left.
November 4814 Delta, is on final runway 27, touch and go.
November 4814 Delta, roger.
November 4814 Delta, is on final runway 27, full stop.
November 4814 Delta, you're already cleared to land, avoid unnecessary reports. Corporate 426, cross runway 8 right.
Crossing runway 8 right, Corporate 426.
Miami Tower, Air Force 12 Heavy, inbound on the ILS runway 30. Air Force 12 Heavy, enter left base runway 30. Enter left base runway 30, Air Force 12 Heavy. November 4814 Delta, when able turn right, contact ground on the taxiway. Miami Unicorn, New Zealand 1 Super, taxiing to runway 8 right. Miami Tower, Air Force 12 Heavy is 9 nautical miles to the southeast of 2,800 feet, inbound for landing, requesting runway 30. Air Force 12 Heavy, number 1, runway 30, cleared to land. Number 1, cleared to land, runway 30, Air Force 12 Heavy. Miami Tower, Air Force 12 Heavy is 9 nautical miles to the southeast of 2,800 feet, inbound for landing, requesting runway 30.
Miami Tower, American 16A, ready for takeoff at runway 30, departing straight out.
Number 1, cleared to land, runway 30, Air Force 12 Heavy.
Miami Tower, American 16A, ready for
American
takeoff at
168, runway 30,
departing
cleared
straight
for
out.
immediate takeoff. Fly runway heading until at or above 5,000 feet.
Stand by. American 420 Super.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 30, American 16A.
Air Force 12 Heavy, maintain slowest practical speed. Maintain slowest practical speed, Air Force 12 Heavy. Cleared for immediate takeoff. Fly runway heading until at or above 5,000 feet.
Stand by. American 420 Super.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 30, American 16A.
Air Force
Miami
12
Tower,
Heavy,
American
maintain slowest
420
practical
Super.
speed.
Ready for
Maintain
takeoff
slowest
at runway 8
practical
right.
speed. Air Force
Remaining in the
12
pattern.
Heavy. Miami Tower, Bravo Alpha Juliet Alpha November, ready for takeoff at runway 27, departing south. Bravo Alpha Juliet Alpha November, runway 27, cleared for immediate takeoff. Fly runway heading until at or above 5,000 feet. Cleared for takeoff, runway 27, Bravo Alpha Juliet Alpha November. November 771 Papa Yankee, check ATIS frequency for airfield information. November 771 Papa Yankee, disregard last message. November 771 Papa Yankee, runway 27, cleared for immediate takeoff. Fly runway heading until at or above 3,000 feet. American 420 Super, runway 8 right, cleared for immediate takeoff. Make right traffic.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 27, November 771 Papa Yankee.
Clear for takeoff. Runway 8 right. American 420 Super.
American 16A, request frequency change.
Miami Tower, corporate 426, ready for takeoff at runway 8 right.
Runway 8 right, cleared for immediate takeoff. Make right traffic.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 27, 771 Papa Yankee.
Clear for takeoff. Runway 8 right. American 420 Super.
American 16A, request frequency change.
Miami Tower, corporate 426, ready for takeoff at runway 8 right. Miami Unicorn, corporate 426 is taking off runway 8 right, departing straight out.
New Zealand 1 Super, you're in an active airspace, please contact Miami departure on 125.5.
Miami Unicorn, American 2020 is clear of all runways. Miami Unicorn, Continental 1 Heavy is taking off runway 12, departing north.
8 right, departing straight out.
Miami Unicorn.
New Zealand 1 Super, you're in an active airspace, please contact
Miami
departure
Ground,
on
Air Force 12 Heavy,
125.5.
request taxi to parking. American 2020 is clear of all runways. Miami Unicorn.
Miami Ground, New Zealand 242, ready to taxi to runway 8 right.
Standby, November 365 Delta Alpha Heavy. Miami ground, Air Force 12 Heavy, request taxi to parking.
Miami ground, Bravo Alpha 125, ready to taxi to runway 8 right.
New Zealand 242, taxi to runway 30, contact tower when ready.
Miami ground, Delta 681, ready for pushback.
Taxiing to runway 30, New Zealand 242.
American 359 Super, request frequency change. Bravo Alpha 125, continue taxi. Thank you, good day, Continental 1 Heavy. Bravo Alpha 125, taxi to runway 8 right, contact tower when ready.
Continue taxi, Bravo Alpha 125.
Miami ground, Air Force 12 Heavy, request taxi to parking.
Miami ground, American 262 Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 8 left.
Air Force 12 Heavy, taxi to parking.
Miami ground, Delta 1068, ready for pushback.
Miami ground, New Zealand 242, ready to taxi to runway 8 right.
Delta 1068, pushback approved, expect runway 27.
Standby, New Zealand 242.
Miami ground, Delta 1068, ready for pushback. Miami ground, Delta 1068, ready for pushback.
Miami ground, New Zealand 242, ready to taxi to runway 8 right.
Delta 1068, pushback approved, expect runway 27.
Standby, New Zealand 242.
Miami ground, Delta 1068, ready for pushback.
Air Force 12 Heavy, request permission to cross runway 8 right. Air Force 12 Heavy, request permission to cross runway 8 right. Air Force 12 Heavy, request permission to cross runway 8 right.
Miami ground, Delta 1068, ready to taxi.
Delta 1068, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Miami ground, Delta 1068. Pushback approved, Delta 1068. Miami ground, Delta 1068, ready to taxi.
Taxiing to runway 8 right, Bravo Alpha 125.
Delta 1068, pushback approved, expect runway 8 right.
Bravo Alpha 125, request frequency change.
Air Force 12 Heavy, request permission to cross runway 8 left. Delta 1068, taxi to runway 8 right, contact tower when ready. Miami ground, November 169 Juliet Victor, request taxi to parking.
Taxiing to runway 8 right, Delta 1068.
Bravo Alpha 125, contact Miami Tower on 118.3.
Contacting Miami Tower on 118.3, Bravo Alpha 125.
November 169 Juliet Victor, taxi to parking.
Taxiing to runway 8 right, Delta 1068.
Bravo Alpha 125, contact Miami Tower on 118.3.
Contacting Miami Tower on 118.3, Bravo Alpha 125.
November 169 Juliet Victor, taxi to parking. Taxiing to parking, November 169 Juliet Victor. Taxiing to parking, November 169 Juliet Victor. Miami Tower, New Zealand 1 Super, ready for takeoff at runway 8 right, departing straight out.
Miami Tower, Delta 681, ready for takeoff at runway 8 right, departing straight out.
Delta 681, runway 8 right, cleared for takeoff. Miami Tower, New Zealand 1 Super, ready for takeoff at runway 8 right, departing straight
Cleared
out.
for takeoff, runway Tower,
New
Delta
Zealand 1
681,
Super,
ready
line up
for
and wait,
takeoff at
runway 8 right.
departing straight out. Miami Tower, X-ray Mike Alpha November Yankee Tango, ready for takeoff at runway 8 right, remaining in the pattern. Cleared for takeoff, runway
New Zealand 1 Super, line up and wait, runway 8 right.
Miami Tower, X-ray Mike Alpha November Yankee Tango, ready for takeoff at runway 8 right, remaining in the pattern.
New Zealand 1 Super, you're on an active airport. Please contact Miami ground on 121.8.
Miami Unicorn, X-ray Mike Alpha November Yankee Tango is taking off runway 8 right, remaining in the pattern.
Stand by. Delta 1068.
New Zealand 1 Super, you're on an active airport. Please contact Miami ground, Mike Juliet Victor Alpha 108, ready to taxi to runway 8 right. New Zealand 1 Super, taxi to parking. Mike Juliet Victor Alpha 108, taxi to runway 8 right, contact tower when ready.
Stand by. Delta 1068.
Taxiing to runway 8 right, Mike Juliet Victor Alpha 108. Taxi to runway 8 right. New Zealand 1 Super, taxi to parking. Mike Juliet Victor Alpha 108, taxi to runway 8 right, contact tower when ready. New Zealand 1 Super, hold position.
Stand by. Delta 1068.
Taxiing to runway 8 right, Mike Juliet Victor Alpha 108. Taxi to runway 8 right. New Zealand 1 Super, taxi to parking. Mike Juliet Victor Alpha 108, taxi to runway 8 right, contact tower when ready. New Zealand 1 Super, hold position. Taxiing to runway 8 right, Mike Juliet Victor Alpha 108. Taxi to runway 8 right. New Zealand 1 Super, you're on an active airport. Please contact Miami ground on 121.8. New Zealand 1 Super, you're on an active airport. Please contact Miami ground on 121.8. New Zealand 1 Super is 1 nautical miles east of Miami International at 500 feet, requesting flight following to Los Angeles.
Corporate 426, request frequency.
New Zealand 1 Super, proceed on course to Los Angeles.
American 168, request frequency change.
Proceed on course, New Zealand 1 Super.
Corporate 426, frequency change approved, good day.
Frequency change approved. Corporate 426, good day.
American 359 Super is 4 nautical miles.
Request frequency.
New Zealand 1 Super, proceed on course to Los Angeles.
American 168,